Alright, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here, of course, for
Haikyuu.
Episode 7?
Yes.
Is it
It
7?
is 7.
Yes, I can count. 7, episode 7. And this is versus the Great King.
Yes. So
not the King of the Court.
Right.
New
so
King steps onto the battlefield.
exactly. That's what I was thinking too. That they're actually talking about this new guy that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Now
He looks like a prick. I'm just saying that. Like, he does not look like the type of person who should have that type of smile on his face and actually have it be consistent with his internal thinking.
Well, here's another way to pick up on that kind of info.
Mm-hmm.
Where was he for the beginning of the game?
Yep.
Like, it sounded like he just showed up.
And they also were making a point, the coach was, that you guys are the best players we have here.
Yeah.
And it could be translated as well, because this
He's
person's
not
not
here, or it
you're
could
the
be
best players we have.
Or it could be, you guys are the best players. Like, he might be better at the game, but you guys are the best players.
Like team players and
exactly,
stuff.
Because that is very important in volleyball, as we've been shown.
Yeah. But because he's shown up, it means that, no, they're not all the best team players, so he will get put into the game, and it will make things more intense.
It will probably make them lose. Like, do you think...
make them lose?
Hinata and Kageyama in the game?
No, they don't have to lose.
Okay.
I think it's because it's a scrimmage game, they don't have to win or lose.
That's true.
Either one can happen. That's what I like, is that in this instance here, we don't need to have a specific outcome.
Right, and because of that, it makes the conflict, even though the consequences aren't as, like, big or whatever, it also makes them, it makes us feel them way more, because we don't actually know which one.
Right, so it makes it more exciting when things get down to the wire.
Exactly.
And
yes.
we're, figuring
that's what games should actually feel like.
Yeah, and that's what they can do, going forward.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's get into this episode and see what happens. Oh.
Okay. He truly is the K-pop character.
Yeah.
Of course you do, Tanaka.
Oh. Yep, I knew it.
Uh-huh.
Oh! Ah, gotcha.
Nice.
The Great King. Gotcha. It's calling his first name.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whoa.
Oh, that is a big deal.
So he's actually your senpai, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I am warm. Okay, so they're already well into the set. Nice. Wow.
Are they really
going to
do
for
this?
The last point?
Yeah.
Oh. Don't mind.
Yeah, he's a diva.
Yeah. With the one hand.
Okay. Wow.
Jeez.
Holy crap.
Wow, so if Tsukishima had just moved out of the way, it would have been out of bounds. Are the weak points. Yeah. Jeez.
月島いつも意地悪で嫌いだけどなんか
お、あと1点で同点だね。
おい、こら太陽様でも狙えってやれ
大王様
Great King.
なんだとピンチのくせしてこんな時もムカつくやつけど
But now you're gonna biff it.
バレーボールっつうのはなネットのこっち側にいる全員俺なく味方なんだぞ
Echoing Tanaka's words.
Yep.
全体的に後ろへ下がれ。月島は少しサイドラインに寄れ。
はい。
よし、来い。
Oh, they adjusted position.
Yeah.
レシーブが得意なキャプテン。
Mm-hmm.
守備範囲を広げる。
Right. That's just taking the brunt of it.
一人で全部守れないよ。
Nice.
お、取ったね。偉い。ちょっと取りやすすぎたかな。でもこっちのチャンスボールなんだよね。くそ。
He hit it too far?
おいしいおいしいチャンスボール。
Yeah, I went over.
きっちり決めなよ、お前ら。
おらいまずいな今はブロックに一番高さがないローテーションだ金田一よし完全にブロック振り切っ
Whoa.
このチビ
Whoa.
上がったナイスワンタッチチャンスボール
Nice.
今度は俺が叩き落としてやるよ
Wow. Incredible. No way.
一瞬ほんの少し
No way.
もうこいつには追いつけない追いつけるな
Oh yeah! He blew it right past him. And that was the game point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Wow.
どうしたんですか
Itetsu is just blown away.
Yeah.
はあ、そっか。先生は日向と影山の攻撃見るのは上手ですもんね。すごいでしょもうすごいっつうが怖いっつうが。
金田一。
Kageyama.
謝ったりすんなよ。
Oh. Yeah.
俺も謝んねえ。お前は俺の中ではこれからも横暴な王様でムカつくやつで最高にぶっ倒したい相手だ。
Baka? No, it makes it easier for him to think
Yeah.
about it that way.
仲直りなんかしねえ。別にもともと仲良くねえしな。
This is well handled.
絶対に俺たちが勝つ。
Mortal frenemies.
やっべこれあれだ。因縁的なあれだ。入ってっちゃいけない空気だ。
金田一。次戦う時も勝つのは俺たちだ。
His face looking
Yep.
behind the corner.
何話してたの
あいつ俺たちって言ったよ。
Oh.
俺が一人で戦ってるみたいな言い方してたくせ。
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
くそ。
Wow.
なんだよ。ちゃんと分かってるね。
This dick.
Yeah.
出たな大王様
なんだこら。
He's talking real big for having just lost, though.
And Nata hiding behind
しない
Tanaka.
でよ。ちっちゃい君。最後のワンタッチとブロードすごかったね。次は最初から全力でやろうね。まだセットアップは見せてなかったし。あ、そうそう。もちろんサーブも磨いておくからね。
そうだ
That subtle jab at Tsukishima.
あのサーブが最初から炸裂するんだ。
大会までもう時間はない。どうするのか楽しみにしてる。
Turn
Yep.
it!
Mm-hmm.
気にしないでください。あの人ああやって人を引っかき回すのが好きなだけなんです。
It's probably what he did to Kageyama to get him better, though.
確かに
Yeah.
インターハイ予選まで時間はないけどそろそろ戻ってくる頃なんだ。
He?
何がですか
Who? Who's he?
カラスノの
What?
指導者の方は僕に任せてく
そうなんですか？
Oh, good. So they're in between coaches right now.
Gotcha.
了解はもらえてないけど、きっとなんとかしてみせる。じゃああとここ任せていいかな。
Wait, the shop? Was that the place where they went and got food from earlier?
Maybe. Yep, and then he gets a call.
Yep.
はい坂の下商店
Yeah.
またあんたかよ
で、なんでカラスの？まさかお前も小さな巨人に憧れて？
引退した鵜飼監督が戻ってくるって聞いたから。
Ah.
うかい。
無名だったカラスの春高の全国大会まで導いた名将。カラスの鵜飼って名前が。
Daichi's, hero.
3年生
Yeah,
は
right.
去年少しだけ指導を受けたけど、
Oh, yep.
すげえスパルタだった。
Spartan.
I love it.
なんで羨ましそうなの？鵜飼監督は本格的な復帰が決まってたんだけど、
倒れた？
今のところ復帰の予定はないんだ。
Oh, he's physically not doing well.
どの学校に入ったって戦う相手は同じ高校生。勝てない理由なんてない。
負け惜しみはよせ。かっこつけて言っても無駄だ。
違いますよ。何個もつけてません。実際に今日4強に勝ったじゃないですか。
まあな、あの正常に2対1。俺もフリーで決められたし、日向のおとりのおかげだな。
でも
cool.
またみんなが揃って、そこに1年生の新戦力も加わって、その戦力ちゃんと全部つなげたら。
夏のインターハイ全国が
Cool.
ただの
Setting their sights.
Yep.
現実に
The shooting star.
Yeah.
Wishing.
夏のインターハイ聞いたことある。
けどそのこれから戻ってくる人は
Oh, that's a great question.
Right.
なあ、1週間の
Yeah, I knew it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
1ヶ月の部活禁止だったんだ。
不良
ちげえよ。まあちょっと暑すぎる。
I think I'm gonna like this character.
Yeah, I get the thing. He's gonna be really awesome.
すぎるって言われるとか
I said
Oh,
it's
yeah,
too
that-
hard.
That is a great point.
カラスノで唯一天才と呼べる選手だ。ま、今はクソ生意気な影山が入ってきたから唯一じゃなくなったけどな。
そういうのも思ったら先輩って呼んでやれよ、日向。田中みたくバカ喜びすると思うから。バカとか。
Oh,
was
this
good.
is great.
どんな人かな？
Oh, this is now the new player.
Wow.
Oh. Oh, here we
Yes.
go. That little bit of hair.
Uh-huh.
全部殺し
Reminds me of Armstrong.
返球はきっちりセッターの入り口。完璧なレシーブ。
Wow.
俺より小さい。
Okay.
That was an awesome
that was a
episode.
great episode.
Oh, yeah.
And we got a solid kind of picture of where this team is headed
Yes.
for.
Right, it keeps getting clearer and clearer. I love it.
Right. They also set up a bunch of players that will come into the future. Also,
Yep.
some teams that they'll have to face.
And not only hinting with like the teams and stuff, but we had a really built up character hinted at the end of the previous episode. Then they got a bit more firmly established, the kind of person they were.
Yeah.
And then we got a new, really built up character introduced at the end of this episode.
Yeah.
This
I like that. They're
moving
moving
and
things
grooving.
along.
Yeah.
With Oikawa, whatever his name is. Yeah, I can tell that he's not a complete dick, but
Yeah.
he's pretty bad. He's like Tsukishima in that regard.
Yes, Hinata's title of Great King is probably pretty apropos.
Yeah, I would say that he doesn't have the same kind of cockiness towards his team,
Right.
but he is insanely cocky about himself.
Yes, absolutely.
I would say he's less condescending towards those that he supports as being
Right. He gives
valuable
credit where
assets
credit's
to him.
Yeah, he gives credit where credit is due.
Well, yeah, but he's also very much a psychological weapon in that
Yes.
he decides to attack
Yeah.
the others where he knows that they're weakest.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely condescending, but condescending
For sure.
towards specific people, which is kind of a dick thing to do.
Right. Well, I mean, being condescending in general, like...
Well, yes, but I know that some people are going to defend this character probably because
he acknowledges strength.
Well, not only that, but to say there's specific players on his team that he's not condescending to.
Sure, but that can't be great for teamwork.
No, I would say... I would say, if anything, he might be fine with teamwork, but he's not going to be a positive influence on teamwork like Daichi is.
Yeah, okay, yeah. What I could see happening is that he is a bit more, like sort of like they hinted at the coach. Mm-hmm. He's a bit more Spartan with how he does things. So he'll very like he very much poked it like you guys were doing this wrong, you guys are doing this wrong, et cetera, et cetera.
Sure, but that's not a bad thing.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. I would just say he's arrogant, he's condescending.
Yes, absolutely.
We know a little bit about his character in that he does like to kind of have fun with it.
Right.
So, yeah.
But enough about his character.
Yes.
Now, before we get into the other stuff of the episode, that moment when Hinata blocks...
Made the excellent
and
receive.
Then cuts over. Yeah, that was quite something. That was epic.
Yeah.
That was just awesome.
Wait, just to clarify, did he receive the serve? Hinata? Did Hinata receive the serve?
Yes, and then it was something where he received it, but it went a bit too far. It went over to them. They sent it back.
No, it was Daichi's reception. Daichi received it, and the team... See, this is where it got interesting. So Daichi received the serve, the tough serve, because he placed himself in the center. They sent it back easily to the other side. And then when they did their little set to bring it back, Hinata goes to block it, and he tips it.
Right,
and then
he tips
it makes
it up.
Really up, like high up.
Yes.
So that brought it back down to the setter.
Right. And in that time, he landed, ran over to the other side, jumped up,
and spiked it for a point. Yep. Which was just amazing. And the dynamic use of camera, kind of pseudo-camera. Yes. But I love the way they use the angles.
Yeah, they even...
Kind of point of view.
They even showed sometimes the players being upside down. Like they would have little things
showing
where,
it from the ball's perspective.
Yeah, they probably won't do that very much, and that's probably a good thing. But just doing those little bits like that, it just fits somehow. I don't get it. I'm not a cinematographer,
but yeah, this is anime, so there's no camera involved. So just choosing to do those types of things makes it feel more cinematic.
Right.
And it was just really fun.
Yeah.
I'm also glad that they didn't draw out this final set and focus more on character building.
Yep.
And good dynamic interactions between the teammates in the conversations post game.
Yeah. If you think about it, that's really just a great thing to do in storytelling in general, where basically if you have an episode that goes a certain way, right? Mm-hmm. With it focusing very heavily on the game and getting the points back and forth and all that stuff. Yeah. And then in the next episode they're like, all right, we've seen the whole playing of the game, and point by point, going up and up. So they just do away with that. They're like, yeah, that happens. Now we're at the end of the game. They just need one more point, and the other team needs, 5 points or whatever it was.
And
just
they showed
it fresh.
Right, and they showed his serving as being strong, but they quickly went from that to a much more important scene that needed to happen between Kageyama and his old teammate.
Daichi, I think his name is.
Daichi.
Yeah, that was really good.
That was good, because one of the things we half expected was kind of an apology.
Right, and I love that they set up the audience expectations, and then they specifically addressed them.
Yeah, and we're like, nope, don't apologize, because I'm not going to either. Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah. And he kind of got his own little rant into Kageyama's face, because Kageyama kind of deserved it, and Kageyama didn't defend himself. He just went, yeah. All right. Yeah, all right.
That was...
And then, of course... Kageyama, the minute he heard that little hint of Hinata's voice as he's chanting like, who's gonna be the ace or something like that, he's like he's like, oh no, please Hinata, get out of here. And then him bumping into like, oh, this is an awkward situation. And then that little face Hinata made where, like, let me kind of recreate it right here. He just kind of goes You know, like really, really goofy face.
They do those goofy faces
every
really
time
well.
they have a derp face in this
It's
show.
so good.
My heart just beats so excitedly.
Yep.
I feel like I gain an extra day of life just
Warms
by
the
watching.
cockles of the soul.
It's so perfect.
Yeah.
With that scene happening though, and then Daichi noticing that he said we're gonna win next time.
I loved that.
That brought up what we discussed in a previous episode where he's talking about in the flashback how he's like, you know, I'm going to nationals. It's like, no,
we're going
nationals.
Yeah.
You're a team.
Yep.
And now he's actually transitioned that to where he's saying we'll beat you.
Yes.
That is such a big deal because I think so much there's even amongst some of the other players in Haikyuu, there are other moments where they go, I'm going to crush you. I'm going to defeat you. And they're talking about specific players. They're not talking about their team and stuff. But rarely do they actually bring up that we're going to beat you.
Right. Because even though those things can happen where like maybe two players on, you know, one player on this team and one player on that team are interacting more.
Right.
It still is changing the focus onto the individuals rather than the team itself.
Yes, it is.
And that isn't good.
Well, it's not only that it's not good, it's saying that they're thinking in the immediate kind of self-oriented perspective.
Exactly.
They're not thinking as a team right then and there.
Yes.
It's more about their emotions getting bent out of whack because they don't like that other person on the other team.
Yeah.
So they're saying, I'm going to beat you. And even Kageyama, the one who's supposed to be the cocky as hell player, is the one saying that we'll beat you next time. Is huge.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's actual character growth.
Yep. And again,
it's huge.
We're not that far into the show yet, so
yeah,
they took
advantage of the time skip to utilize that.
Yes, they did.
But they also took advantage of the fact that the Hinata Kageyama dynamic creates so many ridiculous opportunities for character growth because they're so different from each other.
Right, exactly, because that creates conflict, which is fantastic.
And conflict basically requires a resolution by its own nature.
Yep.
So if the resolution doesn't come immediately, it'll come later. And in this instance, there's been a lot of, I would not say slow, but I would say more kind of regular length conflict resolution, and then some really quick ones that move things along in such a way to where, whoa, like Kageyama and Hinata are starting to become like
actual good
friends. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, okay, on that note, do you think this technically qualifies as a dual main character show then? Because I mean, Hinata's definitely sort of like set up to be the main character, but do you think Kageyama?
I don't think we've gone long enough to say that, but
okay,
I would say,
I
would say that as of right now, it kind of is, but it could shift back to being more of a Hinata.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Because we haven't seen a full season, I would say we don't know. I would say right now it is.
Okay. Now here's a crazy thought. So you were saying,
but it's an ensemble cast.
It's an ensemble cast.
That's another thing to bring.
Yes, absolutely. Now here's my crazy thought.
Oh. Okay.
So your thing that you were saying of shifting focus off of Kageyama and onto Hinata. What if they shifted focus off of Kageyama, but instead they just shifted it to one of the other people on the team? So they're basically adding up the other players on the team into the multi-main character status, so that then the main character becomes the actual team, and Hinata is like the soul of the team.
Yes, I think that's going to happen no matter what, whether or not it's a single or dual or ensemble cast main character setup. But I still think they're going to give more development to characters like Hinata or like Kageyama.
Yeah.
But they will definitely go into the backstories of all the main characters,
right.
all the main named teammates at Karasuno.
Right.
The question is, will Yamaguchi really ever get like an actual backstory? We don't know.
Yeah.
I would say that right now they're focusing on the priority characters first.
Right.
So right now they're still introducing characters.
Yes.
Which means they can't really shift the focus too much.
Right, they can't do that very much. Yeah, they're
because
still...
if they're still introducing characters, they can't get deep on side characters yet until they have time to.
Yep.
And I'm thinking they're going to introduce more characters even after this guardian deity character.
I think so too.
Which was a great kind of quick way to introduce the character, but I still feel like we're missing the true dramatic character introduction in the next episode.
Right, because they introduced his design and the basic concept, right? That he's the delinquent that is, a really good defender.
Right.
god-level defender.
He's kind of like Hinata,
but a little bit further along, basically.
Maybe a little bit further along, but also a little bit, I don't know, a little bit more defense-focused.
Sure, okay. I could see that.
Yeah. He's also short.
Yeah,
which is interesting because if Hinata is 5'3" or 5'4" or something like that, I think he said it was like 160.
I think he might have said he was 5'2".
Yeah, I don't think he is. I don't think he is.
Oh, that's right, because they do everything in centimeters. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was doing the math in my head kind of, and I think he's at most 5'4", and he might be, I would say, as low as 5'2", and that's why he was saying if you were 30 centimeters taller, Tsukishima.
Right.
That's why I was saying you would be a superstar because then you'd be 6'2" or 6'4".
Right.
With the ability to jump that high. Yeah, of course you'd be a superstar.
At that point, you'd just be basically a god.
You would be
the
then the guardian deity of Karasuno. Yeah. But with this character being shorter, say an inch or two shorter.
Mm-hmm. How does he defend?
How is he a good defender? Because he can't get on the line then.
Right. So maybe that's his thing, is that he doesn't defend on the line, but he defends all the back stuff. So he defends from the spikes and things like that. So that when people get combos like Hinata and Kageyama, he's actually the one that's there and cancels them.
Oh, actually, you're right. But it's also something that physically makes sense as to why he'd be good at that. The smaller you are, the better ability you have to get yourself down low and make good receptions when you're bringing your hands down at that low. The only thing with that is that then your legs are shorter, which means you have less lateral movement capabilities.
Right, but as we've seen with Hinata, he is very fast, so...
Yes, if he's quick, he has the ability to move, really quickly,
right,
then it kind of makes up for it. Also, given that there's 3 receivers on the field at any given time.
What I get the feeling they're building him up to be is basically be the one in the center that just does a big zone, and he's just able to...
Daichi did in this episode?
Like Daichi did in this episode, basically. Maybe not.
I would say he would be with Daichi as being the 2 of those that would do a really good zone. If anything, maybe they could do some slight change with the defense where they have the middle person actually move back and towards the middle a little bit.
Sure. Yeah.
I actually think that actually would be kind of weak as a strategy.
Or maybe they maybe if they basically have the back covered, then one of the other people can basically cover if the front line gets juked or something. I don't know if I don't know how volleyball works.
That just doesn't really happen much in volleyball.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying, but because there's only one ball, it doesn't. It doesn't really happen much.
One of the things I'm curious about is this coach that they mentioned. Well, okay.
Well, it's the convenience store. It's the convenience store guy, because there's the whole thing of the coach that's physically unwell.
Yes.
So he's not going to come in probably until a later point in the show.
Right. But then there's also...
he could potentially coach the coach that they end up getting.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, that would be great. That would be a great way to develop the convenience store guy and develop the coach as well. Is the convenience store guy, when he's having trouble with him, he goes to him, he's like, okay, Jacob, I don't know what to do. What?
I just had a crazy thought.
Okay.
The convenience store guy is an ex-Karasuno champion player that ended up having some kind of problem that made him unable to play professionally.
Okay.
When they talked about it, they used to have really good players in the past.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
But what if he was one of those really good players?
Okay.
And he's kind of jaded now about the whole experience, but then they bring him back.
Yeah.
And Hinata's
passion. His love of the game.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm really hoping that's what it is.
Because here's the other thing. That would be a way to have Hinata shine as sort of the main character that he is. Because his true power is not his speed, it's not his jumping, it's not his spikes. It's the fact that he loves volleyball.
He wants to be on the court as long as possible.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think as long as Kageyama and him are those 2 characters, the ones that want to be on the court as long as possible, then they will continue to be the sole dual main characters.
Right. Yeah.
And the team will slowly become more and more main character-like as we get more into their motivations, backstories, and settings, and likes, dislikes, and...
things like that, yeah.
All that stuff.
Okay.
Then it'll become more of a team main character setting, because I think this is the show where we're going to have so many characters that we'll have to remember, and that the team being a main character as a group just makes sense. It has to be,
Yes.
because it'll be like, we'll talk of them as Karasuno, not list out their names individually.
Especially when there gets to be a lot of them.
Right. Also, when we get to meeting new teams like Aoba Jisai, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
That we'll have to remember either all their names or just their team name.
Yeah.
Which will be easier, you know?
Aobo, Suba, or whatever, sub 1, sub 2, sub 3. Yeah.
Right.
Now, okay, one of the other things that I loved stylistically from this episode is how they did the flashback of the Spartan coach, right?
Oh, sure.
And they had it with the crows, and it was
he had his coat billowing.
And it was basically the same thing that Daichi did earlier, which is great because now I see it as basically Daichi normally being like a pretty reserved guy who's like just sort of the steady Eddie of of the group and everything.
Yes.
But he realizes that sometimes he needs to go into Spartan coach mode, and then it's just listen up,
Maybe he sees that coach as his hero, just like
I
Hinata
absolutely think so.
Sees the little giant as his hero. That makes perfect sense, also because of the visual connotation to him basically attempting to be like
and that could
coach.
And that could be a really great way to develop Daichi as well, because you know how I had that idea of the convenience store guy going to the coach to talk to him. Right. What if Daichi has something like that too, where it goes to him maybe because Daichi has been set up as really, like I said, steady Eddie, just this pillar.
Yes.
So the development I could see happening is when he starts to get shaken a bit.
Sure.
Based on, whatever it is that happens, something in his personal life, something on, with the team or whatever. And then maybe that could be him going back to his hero to be like, hey, what do I do here, coach? You know?
Yeah. That's a great idea.
And I would love to see that.
That's a really great point. I would love to see that also from the standpoint of having the captain, who's kind of been the one trying to resolve conflicts before they even happen.
Yeah.
Have his own internal conflict that he can't resolve before it happens because it just sneaks up on him. And now he has to figure out what to do. And he can't turn to his players because, captains, leaders, and all that.
Right, exactly.
One of their main weaknesses is they don't like showing weakness.
Right.
So, that could be really good.
Yeah.
I do get the feeling, though, that Daichi is relatively humble in his own way, so that he doesn't have any insecurities about his own lack of ability to be the best player as the volleyball team, for instance.
Right.
But maybe with regards to leadership in particular of the volleyball team, he's a little bit insecure about that.
Okay.
Because he's only 17 or something like that.
Yeah, he's only 17, yet he's got like the chiseled jaw and the deep
he
voice
does have
and
the square jaw.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
okay. I just had this crazy thought.
What's that?
And to be fair, this idea isn't very original, so Haikyuu will probably do something better than this.
Okay.
But what if they basically had something off the court happen where it was something that is like say a family member gets sick or something like that. So maybe he's having to like say take care of like a sick parent while do volleyball, and then maybe he feels guilty about it. Maybe he's not fully present when he's there, and that's how they how they do it.
I could see that happening, but I don't know if there's any hints about that necessarily.
Right. Yeah. That was just some crazy idea that I came up with, because I feel like the real way to hit Daichi is to hit his ability to lead, not his ability to.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. That's
Yeah. His ability to play the game is not something that he holds in contention with his own vision of himself or something.
Exactly.
It's the idea that him being a leader is about him doing his best to spur the team onward towards their goals.
Bring out the best out of them.
Yes, and maybe the team's results could shake him up a bit. Like maybe if he's not able to communicate well to his team, what are some things in the direction of the team that things should go, then he'll have some trouble, and then he'll rely on someone like Osu.
Yeah.
Sorry, every time I say that I have to look at you guys in the camera, because I know some of you just get bugged by that. But Suga or Osu, whatever. I see him as being the ultimate kind of supporting figure for someone like Daichi, if Daichi got into that bad of a spot.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's more of like not even a season 1 thing.
No.
That's like a way down the line kind of thing. Because if this show does any kind of connection between the seasons of the show and the kind of the season, like the volleyball seasons themselves.
Yep.
Then it could be kind of interesting to see him maybe dealing with that kind of stuff at a time where it's postseason.
Sure.
Where it's, a little bit more, the stakes are a little bit higher.
Or when they're getting close to the time when they're about to graduate.
Yeah, but I could see it being a thing where once he graduates, he's then a captain, there just for a little bit of time during the summer, kind of getting them ready for the next one. Mm-hmm. And then he goes to university and stuff and plays there. And that'll be more of just sad to
that'll be so sad.
See him leave and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's the thing to think of, is that these characters who are the third years, we know Daichi is a third year, and I'm pretty sure Suga is a third year.
And Tanaka.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Suga and Tanaka, though, because I don't know if we've actually heard any of them say that they are third years.
I think they made a point about, we didn't really get many people last year or something like that. And that's why they had, so few players. But, yeah. This episode was all around just amazing, though.
Yeah, I think they did hit a lot of things really quickly.
Yes.
In rapid succession.
In 20 minutes.
In 20 minutes, that's pretty impressive. It's going to be hard going forward to edit episodes like this because there's so many bits that you want to have in it, but other parts where it's that part, it's good, but it's not completely integral to the story. And since we're bringing up almost everything in discussion,
that's true.
It makes it easier for you guys as viewers to experience it with
then
us.
At least it's not completely forgotten.
But I felt like this episode was moving a mile a minute with regards to kind of character interactions and things like that.
But it wasn't jarring. It wasn't what's happening? It had a really good flow to it.
It didn't jump around. It had a very good flow to it. Yeah. I agree. Only other thing is, what do you think about the tournament that they're kind of foreshadowing? Because it's preliminaries. Now, correct me if I'm wrong.
Right.
Preliminaries is not an actual, beginning of the season thing. So here's what I'm thinking. If they're hinting at the preliminaries coming up, and it's a tournament,
right?
What if actually they spend a lot of time in this 1 year of volleyball?
I could see that.
And it goes into multiple seasons.
Okay. I could see that. I hope so, because I don't want Daichi to just be here for the 1 year. Or for the one season.
But that's a thing, is that, I don't know how a volleyball season is set up, so it'll be curious to see how a preliminaries setup works with the regular season and the post-season.
Well, depending on how long the seasons are, if it's a 2-core season, I could see them spending a fair amount of time just on a tournament, because the pre-stuff,
at least
leading
4
up to
to
the
6
tournament.
episodes.
At the very least.
That's why I said at least.
Yeah, because even if you didn't spend that much time on each match, by the time you get to the tournament, it could be a thing where we've been introduced to new teams now, so we're not just wanting to see what Karasuno's doing.
We want to know what Obajisai
We want to see what the key other schools are doing.
The really long, hard to remember name of the team that was number 1 in the prefecture,
something crazy like
and
that.
And they're number 8 in the country or something like that.
Right. We want to see what they're doing. So
that stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see a tournament taking up the second half of the entire season, or 12 episodes potentially.
Yep.
And that would be good, and it would be maybe not as good because we would feel like things slowed down quite a bit.
Sure.
Here's a thought, Jacob. What's the maximum amount of time you would want to see a... in here, we had a game that lasted 2 episodes, essentially. Or an episode and a half.
Yeah, but even then, I would say in the previous episode,
it wasn't just the game.
It wasn't just the game. They spend a fair amount of time leading up to the game, and I think that's what's key. Because if you just have episodes where, say, a whole episode is devoted to the game and nothing else happens, and you have a bunch of those back-to-back,
no, but
that'll get old.
You could have things in between it.
Right.
And stuff like that.
And not that it's, padding for time, but the idea is that since
the first episode of the show.
Yeah, the first episode of the show.
It was basically just a game.
Pretty much, yeah.
With a lot of backstory and
a
stuff.
lot of
filled in
backstory.
between it.
And the thing is, I love it when they have all that stuff worked in there, because the reason we care so much about tournaments and stuff like that is because it brings out the desires and the dreams of the characters.
Yes.
And it puts it, between a rock and a hard place, right?
Right.
So, as long as they keep doing that, then I would be fine with a tournament or a game or whatever going for a fair amount of time, right? Because then it's keeping it fresh. It's not just another thing of, do they manage to spike the ball? Do they manage to spike the ball? Whatever.
Sure.
So
I haven't seen any lack of freshness in that regard.
Yeah,
so I think we're
they've
fine.
been
My
really
question was,
getting all the
how
points
long
here.
would you be fine with a game going, in terms? Because I think they could,
2 episodes, 2 full episodes would be the max I'd want.
I could see this show actually getting to a place where they have a game that lasts 3 episodes.
One episode per set. I would be.
Because there'd be extra stuff built into it, like a whole bunch of character stuff, development.
Yes, I would be okay with that if they did that.
Not 3 episodes of actual runtime.
Right. So
like an episode and a
spanning,
half of actual runtime.
Right, exactly. Because if they had something where it's like, okay, half of the first episode is like leading up, like the before stuff for the game, like all that, and then the second half of the last episode is like the aftermath and stuff,
right?
Then absolutely I'm all for that, because then it's still about 2 episodes of runtime for the game. And if it's, as long as it's an important game, like one that we're really,
well, Jacob, I'm talking about like a very important game.
like if they made it to the finals for for the tournament or something like that, like absolutely.
Also, they could actually find a way to, I don't know what the actual runtime of a real volleyball game is, but they could have the game be in real time. Wouldn't that be crazy?
That would be crazy.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
But that sounds like 3 episodes, at least.
And the other thing is that I think that would be something where each point would get would feel a little bit samey if they did it like that. I think having, spending more time on certain parts.
In terms of entertainment value,
exactly.
I agree. I'm just thinking that this show, talking about things like preliminaries before the actual regular season, makes me feel like this show will get more into the characters and slow down things like the games.
Sure. Okay.
Over the course of the show's just runtime.
And I am all for that, as long as justice is done by the characters, right? Because usually when the runtime of stuff like this, whether it's games or fights, goes on too long, the thing that makes it bad is that it doesn't hit those points.
Yeah,
so
that's true. All right, well, this was a great episode, good discussion.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to see the next episode right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. Get on early access, and with that, you can get on our Discord as well and chat with us about anime and stuff. We'd love to
talk to you.
We'd love to get you and stuff like that. All right, we'll see you all later, but until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.